I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome. This is the 603rd episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. We are here. We are doing well. Everything's going smooth. Producer Kate is here. And we're all cooking along, doing what we do. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad. Listen, we had a beautiful day today. 50 degrees. 50 degrees. I sat on the front porch, just a swinging, and it was absolutely amazing. Fantastic. Yes, I am in 3D, popping directly out of your screen, right to you. You don't even need glasses on. That's how good we are here. Hey, while you're all coming in, while you're all pouring in, I do want to put up here on the screen a little bit of excitement for everybody. And I know that everybody absolutely loves this, but you, ladies and gentlemen, can represent Team Nobody with your very own Team Nobody merch. That's right. Are you a nobody? Do you want to be a nobody? Do you want people to know that you're a nobody? How about you don't want anybody to know that you're a nobody, but you want to lay around your house in your pajama sleepy time wear as a nobody? You can do that too. All you have to do is get in contact with us, let us know, and we will get you some nobody attire. And while Randy Howard won't be wearing a nobody t-shirt anytime soon, I also will tell you what he also will not be wearing, and that is County Brown, County Star. And that's because literally nobody on the face of the planet, well, other than like Mark Orr and his brother, like Kevin or Chris or Kyle, they're the same person. Nobody's seen them. I don't think either of them ever leave the house. They might all be Randy. I don't know. It might be Randy and the Orrs might all be the same person. I'm not really sure. Those are the like 2 or 3 people that are going to vote for Randy. Everybody else, just not going to happen. And so he won't be wearing a Team Nobody shirt, but he won't be wearing County Brown, and he won't be wearing a County Star, because while we here are the nobodies, he truly is a nobody. So, all right. Hey, I'm glad we could get that out of the way early here. I'm glad we could get that out of the way. Hey, look, Randy's got a better shot of being the Henry County Sheriff than me. No shit, dipshit, because I live in Delaware County. So continue letting us know what a genius you are. Here's more genius ramblings from Randy, the non-entity, Tweedledum, the potato head, letting us know that a Delaware County citizen will not be the Henry County Sheriff. I tell you, I just listen. What we need to do is, this needs to be called, I'll change the whole setup here. This can be called the Randy Howard Show, if he will just come on. Listen, Randy, I don't want to do you wrong. Listen, you just come on and will you tell the people why you should be sheriff and why anyone should listen to you for anything other than a laugh. And I'll give you all the time in the world. You come right on. I'll send you the link right now. Right now. You won't have a better shot, a better chance of being put out there for you to be heard literally anywhere. Anywhere. You would have it. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Randy is 1,000% right. He has no reason to come on the show, and that's because he's not going to be sheriff. He is not a valid or true candidate, and this is a political show. This is a show that talks serious politics, talks the actions of government and the political folks, and Randy is none of those. So he is 1,000% right. He does not have a reason to come on the show because this isn't fitting for Randy, because Randy is not a serious entity. So again, I'm glad that Randy pointed that out. Hey, Randy, all everybody wants to know is what your qualifications are. We don't want you to spend the next 3 months dreaming them up, having somebody on Fiverr put them together for you, and laminating your own shit that you're making on your copier. We want you to come on and tell us what your actual credentials are. Why you listen, your competitors aren't going to debate you. No one should debate you, because you don't aim downward. There's no reason anyone should give you the chance of anything. No one's going to do that. John Sproles might, because it'll be two idiots babbling in a corner at each other. And I tell you what, charge for that, because I would pay top dollar. I would pay $1,000 to come in and watch you and Sproles just babbling in the corner, because I love cringe. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So whatever. Anyways, back to it. I always like, it's funny. I'm an idiot. I'm a nobody. Randy there's no reason to come on. Yet he's been here for the last 4 or 5 nights in a row. Isn't that weird? Like, he just can't stay away. Oh, God. You know what? Henry County, at least, for all the seriousness that goes on there, at least they do provide enough jokers and so that we can have a laugh and we can, like, really not take each other too serious. And so that is good. That is very good. Hey, on a serious note, before we get into the show, I cannot say, I can't I can't put this out here yet, but I am asking for those that believe, those that are Christians or believers or whatever you want to do, please put out some good thoughts. There's an unspoken prayer request it's really laying heavy on my heart, and it's for an individual from Henry County and family members. That's all I can say at this point. Can't say anything more. But it's something that really is really a serious matter and a heavy thought in my mind. So if you're so inclined to put that out there, and I would be happy if you guys would do that for those of you that are so inclined. Okay, so we have a show tonight where we're going to be talking about some filings, candidate filings. We're also going to be talking about some things from the City of Muncie, Muncie City Council. We have a very interesting development that came out today from Muncie City Councilor Nora Powell. Put out a very interesting statement, and she did an action, so that's interesting. We're going to be talking about that, and then we're going to be talking about an op-ed that appeared on the online version of the newspaper. We're also going to be, and I think it'll be in the newspaper tomorrow, Wednesday. So we'll keep that. We'll keep that. Hey, and I will tell you, for as much as I am not a fan of Randy, I will give you an attaboy for the fact that you're saying that you're praying for this person, and I do thank you for that. No matter what I think of Randy or whatever, I do. My hat's off to you that you put that in the comments, and so I do appreciate that. Okay, so I've been collecting the filings from around Delaware County, around Henry County, around Madison County, and Randolph County. I'm still waiting. I'm going to have to pop into Madison County tomorrow and get them straightened out. Hey, I do want to say this, though. It's kind of interesting, and I want to put this out there for the Henry County Clerk's Office. I don't know if you're watching. I think that there are. Oh yes, okay, good. I think I see that in the chat there. I appreciate that, Kate. You know, I got to say this. I got to say something. Before we get started, Kate just sent me a message that she put something up in the overlays. And I will tell you, since I've been doing this, broadcasting, I've been politically active my entire life. Since I've been doing this in one form or another, I have never, ever given a thought or cared about the number of views that we get, the people that listen. I mean, yeah, we want people to listen. We want people to follow along. It makes sense if there's a wider audience because the message is out and people get that. But I've never really cared about it. However, there was an interesting person that had me take a look at this, and I took a look at this, and I was actually shocked at the increase, how quickly things are continuing to go up. And so I'm going to put this up there, and this is not about me. This is about you guys. This is about you. This is about the people that share the show, the people that speak word of mouth. This is an attaboy to you guys. This is not about me. It's not like me patting myself on the back. It's me being absolutely shocked out of my brain, out of my skull, that it's as big as it is. People say, oh, look, you've only got 46 people listening on YouTube live right now. Right. But y'all understand how YouTube works, right? People can come back and watch and listen whenever they want. People can watch on Facebook or listen whenever they want. People can watch and listen on X whenever they want. People can go listen to the audio podcasts whenever they want. And all of these we've kind of put together and do all of this stuff. And I just have to say that it's really, really, truly amazing what you guys do in spreading the word and getting the message out. It's truly. Wait a minute. You said you put them in the overlays? I don't see it. You lied. Oh, there we are. Wait, something happened there. Weird. No, I'm really shocked by this. And again, this is not me patting myself on the back. This is me, I guess, giving a shout out to you guys, giving an attaboy to you guys, because this is some really wild stuff. This is the last 90 days. In a rolling 90 days, we're actually up. And we're actually up from the last time that we showed this. The last time we showed this was from November 12th through February 9th. The last time we're going to put this up. The last time we put this up was the last 90 days. I don't know when this is. I'll have to look, and I don't know. Oh, it's because it was on the other thing. I'll have to get, because we have two pages. We have my Kristopher H. Bilbrey page, which is that, and then the political spotlight page. This was 1.6 million, and this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. This, ladies and gentlemen, is 2.1 million. And there's also one that shows just the last 28 days, and the last 28 days is like 800 some thousand views in the last 28 days. And so that is all of you guys. And let me tell you why that is so big and that's so important. That's spreading the word. That's getting the message out. That's people in Indiana and beyond hearing the message, hearing what's going on in Madison County, hearing what they're doing to Catherine, hearing what's going on in the city of Muncie, the city council. It's hearing what's going on at the state house. It's listening to our coverage of the things that are going on at the state house. It's hearing what's going on in the Henry County jail. It's getting that message out and spreading that word, and that is big. It's not about the clicks and the views. It's about getting the message out and helping the people of my city that I live in, helping the people of my county, helping the people of your city, of your county. And so that is a very, very big thing for you all. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I'm very, very appreciative of Kate. Matter of fact, let me tell you, I was in Newcastle today. I was in Henry County, and this is what I started to say a moment ago. I want to give a shout out to the Henry County Clerk's office. So when filing day ended, when the filing period ended at noon on Friday the 6th, I started sending out record requests to various clerk's offices. And it was my fault because we've been in the process of it. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. It's all Kate. It's Kate. I'm just here as I am the Ed to Kate's Johnny. So that's what it is here. So the thing is, I sent out this record request late because we were in the process of doing this move. And so I knew that they probably wouldn't have it until Monday. And I contacted the Henry County Clerk's office on Monday. And I said, hey, what's going on with this? Record request for all of these documents? And they told me that that's exactly true. Kate is the brains, I am the beauty, and that's can't say it any other way. It is what it is. If Brandon would make an appearance, the view count would go up a couple hundred views. Hey, I tell you, one of these days, we will see what goes on. Maybe he'll pop back on. You should have the guy on your show and talk about Sproles and find out what his opinion is of Sproles. Who are you talking about, Jeremy? Whose opinion of Sproles? While he's saying that. So I contacted the clerk's office yesterday and said, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, we're working on it. We're going to get it scanned and we will get it to you as soon as we can. And listen, I like Jenny. I know, and I have heard from people that the clerk's office does not like dealing with me because they think that I'm intense. And I know that anytime I go in there, they're really nervous. I was talking to one of the girls today, and she was so nervous. And I was like, no, you guys are doing great. Just relax. I know it's a little crazy. I know it's a little crazy. And I seem a little, out of, pocket. I'm crazy, but I'm okay. You guys are fine. Just relax. Everything's going to be good. So because what happened is this morning, they still hadn't got me the records. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take my zip drives down there. And surely to God, they'll have them ready. And I went in there first thing this morning and I gave them my zip drives and they're like, well, we're not going to have these ready until Thursday or maybe Friday morning. And I hear that and I start twitching and I'm like, no, that's not going to be okay because the challenge period is up Friday the 13th at noon. And the law states that on election material, election reports and election material that you have to have them ready within no later, I think, than 48 hours after this is what I was saying this morning, than when they were turned in. And they're like, no, that's 24 hours for record requests. And I'm like, no. I was like, I'll send you the law and we'll go from there. So I go out into the car, okay, and I start looking for this law, and I can't find it, and I'm kind of confused, and I have a couple of things going on. So I call up producer Kate, and I'm like, hey, could you could you please Google and search and look around for the Indiana code that says that the record request for the election period is shorter than normal? And Kate's like, yep, I'll do it. And boom, bang, pow, she had it just like that. And because she had that, Jeremy, I'll get to that topic here in just 1 second and talk to you about that. Yes, I've seen that video. That it was going around a couple months ago. When Kate sent that to me, I was able to email that to Ashley at the clerk's office. And, I said, hey, just FYI, wanted to let you see this. Just, I'm not going to push it. I'm not pushing it. I'm not bitching or griping, but I'm just letting you know that, this is out there. And so everyone is aware. The law that we are referring to specifically, I'll put this up here on the screen so you guys can see this. I will put this up here, right here. Share screen. Election results. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so this is what I sent to her. This is what Kate helped me find. And I knew about this because I went over this last year. But I could not find it. And so I sent this to Ashley. And I said, just an FYI for the future reference. Indiana Code 3-9-4-5, Section 5A, The election division and each county election board shall make the reports and statements filed with them available for public inspection. Now, listen, this is very important. For public inspection and copying, commencing as soon as practicable, but not later than the end of the second business day following the day during which they were received. Okay, so what would that be? They were received before noon on Friday the 6th. So the first business day would be Monday, and the second business day would be Tuesday. B, election division and the county election board shall also permit copying of a report or statement by hand or by duplicating machine, a copy machine, as requested at the expense of the person and subject to Indiana Code 51438, which means 10 cents a page. Okay? That's what that code means there. Inspection and copying of records contained on the computer system described in Section 4B of this chapter are subject to IC 514.3. C, a person may not sell information copied from reports or statements under this section or use it for commercial purposes. However, this restriction does not apply to newspaper, magazine, book, or other communications with the principal purpose other than communicating contributor information. Okay, to solicit contributions or for other commercial purposes. So I sent that over to them, and lo and behold, about 30 minutes after I sent this, they called me and they said, your documents are ready, Mr. Bilbrey. Right here, right here. See? Now, I see Les C. Cloud didn't call me a dumbass. You were supposed to. Let me see. Did you do that way up here? Maybe you did. I might have lied. Let me see. Nope. I don't see it. So I win. Les C. Cloud was supposed to call me a dumbass in the comments. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe she still does. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, did you make it to Newcastle to get the videos? Well, it's not me that we're waiting on the videos. It's them to prepare. So yeah, I was in Henry County today, but they're still not ready for the videos. I'm still waiting on them. I'm hoping they'll be ready this week, but they still haven't told me when to come in yet. So I will keep you guys posted on that. But what's interesting to me is when I went into the office, and this is why Ashley was nervous, because I think she was prepared for a battle. Because when I got there, they handed me these. And they took my payment. And that's funny. FAFO, that's hilarious. So they gave me these. And then she said, and also we contacted the see, right there it is. That's hilarious. That's funny. She told me that they had contacted the public access counselor, and the public access counselor she was trying to tell me that I was wrong. And she said, well, this is not really for a record request. And I said, oh, okay, I don't understand. I said, well, first of all, Jennifer Ruby is new, and so I could see where she could be confused. I said, I'm getting my information from Luke Britt and Indiana Code, and this is how Luke Britt interpreted this because I've used this in the past. And she said, and tell me, this is the issue. This is the issue with people in government, and I don't have a problem with them. They do a good job. But there's just a misunderstanding. So this is literally what she tells me. Well, if you send in a record request requesting this, we can take as long as we regularly do. But if you come in person, then that's what triggers this. And I'm like, well, I don't see anything in the law. I don't see anything in the law that says if I'm in person. I don't see anything in there period about that. She said, that's just, we would have to have it available for you to inspect in here. And I said, yes, and copy. I said, what do you think and copy by a duplicating machine means? What do you think that means? And she's like, well, we'd have to give it to you, but this is not a record request. And I'm like, look, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. But the thing is, this Indiana code is clear as day. So I'm telling people out there, if you're dealing with election information, and I explained to her, I said, look, this is the reason, because sometimes when you file a record request, some record requests take 2 or 3 weeks. You can't make it take 2 or 3 weeks with this information because there are deadlines with this. If you don't get the information to look through to file a complaint, how can you file a complaint? You can't. So you have to be able to get it within the time frame. So I'm not throwing shade on Ashley or the Henry County clerk's office. I'm just it's not just her. A lot of different people will think and say these goofy things. And it's like, no, listen, let's not make this more difficult than it needs to be. I just want you to read the law letter for letter, word for word, and see what this says. And let's just go by what this says. The election division, that's you, and each county election board shall make the reports and statements filed with them available for public inspection so I can come in and view it with my eyeballs, and copying commencing as soon as practicable. So as soon as it's feasibly ready, but not later than the end of the second business day following the day during which they were received. So, there's no reason that we should make these things harder than they already are. Okay, I want to be clear about that. Okay, so good evening, Paula. We have these filing records from Henry County. Okay, we are going to go through this at some point here soon. But I did get these. I do have Delaware counties. As well. And if there's anybody out there that's watching this that I was supposed to email those to, as soon as the show is over, I will commence with emailing them to you. So I didn't forget about you. I will get them to you. You know who you are. Okay. Now, before we get to the filing, though, I want to talk about this, and this is very important. We're gonna move out of the election sphere for a minute, and we're gonna move into something I call Ordinance 6-26. And Ordinance 6-26, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that may not have seen or maybe don't know, for those of you that are not familiar, Ordinance 6-26 is an ordinance that will be appearing on the City of Muncie's agenda for the next upcoming meeting in March 2nd. Okay? And what this is here, you think this is, now let me ask you what Stumblefoot, do you believe the ordinance is needed? Do you like the ordinance and you're just saying that they're not going to let it pass, or you disagree with the ordinance? I want to make sure, because I think that you want it, but you just are saying that they're not going to let it go anywhere is, I think, what you're saying. I want to be clear there, because I think that's what you're saying, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. So I'm trying to get an understanding of where you are. because I don't know. I feel what you're saying. I feel pretty confident that they will fight this. They'll do what they can to fight this, because we've watched them. We watched them do this for over an hour last meeting. You know what I mean? So I was over at the new studio today and doing some stuff and getting things ready over there. Whew, it's going slower than I thought. We will be I don't want to tell you exactly when we'll be at the new studio. It'll be soon. But we're slowly working on it. So I will keep you guys posted. But I was over at the new studio, and when I was there, I saw something pop up on Facebook. I normally don't read through Facebook like other people do. I post to it and I see if there are messages, but I just don't. Facebook is like wild to me, because there's no rhyme or reason why you see anything that you're seeing. And I don't like things like that. I really am enjoying Twitter much more, X, I guess, whatever. But on this rare occasion, I saw this message from Nora Powell. And Nora's message reads as follows. Today, meaning literally today, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Today, I filed Ordinance 6-26. Ordinance 626 seeks to amend Section 32.39 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances, prerequisites to action on ordinance, resolution. Ordinance 626 will eliminate a potential vulnerability when submitting pieces of legislation by putting an additional safeguard in place, requiring the sponsoring councilperson to submit their ordinance or resolution in person or via their email account. The city attorney or city council attorney can also file the legislation in person or via email on the councilor's behalf. Ordinance 6-26 is nearly an exact copy of Ordinance 40-25 that was put forward last year and died, and Ordinance 3-26, which we just debated last meeting for over an hour. However, after taking into consideration input from the city clerk, Ordinance 6-26 includes Section 1C. Any ordinance, resolution, or other legislation filing submitted to the office of the clerk shall be accompanied at the time of filing by all other supporting documentation that the filer requests the city council to review or consider with the proposed action. And we'll talk about that in a second. All right. Nora then puts this document on there, and this, and it's very important, this statement. No ordinance that has been defeated by council action voted down, as Ordinance 3-26 was last month, shall be able to be reintroduced in the same year unless by unanimous consent of the council. If you support the introduction of Ordinance 6-26, it is imperative that you contact all councilors and encourage them to vote yes to the introduction at the March meeting on Monday, March 2nd. I would also respectfully request, if you are able to attend, please come and speak in favor of this common sense piece of legislation. She then says this: please remember, public comment is no longer taken prior to the introduction of an ordinance. Those wishing to speak in favor will need to sign up to speak before the meeting during the public comments that's now at the beginning. Okay? So, let's talk about this just for a second. This is exactly the same ordinance from November or December, and it's the exact same ordinance from last month and the month before, January and February. The only thing different is it's saying all documents of an ordinance have to be together when it's filed because, and let me tell you why, the administration has a very bad habit of filing ordinances or having councilmen file ordinances where they have the ordinance documentation present, but they do not include all of the exhibits, any other documentation, which would be and should be important for everybody, all 9 councilors and the public and anybody that wants to see it should be able to see it. Because sometimes when you just read an ordinance, the language in there is legal jargon. And sometimes it makes sense, but a lot of times it doesn't. So when you read that ordinance, if there is a lot of documentation that helps to sell its point, that needs to be with the ordinance when it is filed. Because in the past, what they would do is they would file the ordinance or the resolution, and they wouldn't include that other stuff, but they would include it the last night before the meeting. And so everybody would get, copies and no one could read it. And, that people didn't do what they were supposed to do. So the clerk is saying, I want to stop that. And I got to be honest, I applaud the clerk's mention of that. I think that is important. And I agree with that addition. And I want to give Nora an attaboy for listening to Belinda and putting that forward. And I want everybody to remember, Belinda is a Republican and Nora is a Democrat, but yet they're working together. And I want everybody to remember, that, yeah, right. Right, Kate. I want everybody to remember that it was Dale Basham who actually called for Belinda to be considered, and he was going to table the ordinance, to allow her to have her word last month, and then it all went sideways. What's not in this ordinance is anything about the controller being involved, and the controller should not be involved. The controller should not be involved unless it has something to do with the budget or appropriations. And then in that case, he's involved he's involved. There's never a case where they do an ordinance like that he's not involved on. Okay. What shouldn't happen is he shouldn't be involved in everything, because he could kill ordinances that way. Now, here's the thing. So I read this. Yeah, you're right. He shouldn't have to sign off on it. He should see it and give his 2 cents, and then it happens the way it happens. Okay, so I appreciate Nora putting this out. And letting people know what's happening and fighting so hard for this. Okay. And I agree with what she's saying in the first half of her statement. Okay. I then understand fully what she's saying when she says no ordinance that's been defeated. She's letting people know that the only way that this can be talked about is if all 9 councilors push for this to be introduced. If just one person says no, then it's done. So to Stumblefoot's point, do we think that this is going to pass, or do we think that this is going to be killed? When I look in the face of Jerry Dishman trans Republican, and I look in the face of Brandon Garrett, trans Republican, I know that they will do whatever Dan wants them to do. All right? And they need to be told by the citizens tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day Monday. They need to be told by the citizenry, don't go in there pulling some kind of bullcrap. You vote in favor of introducing this. Yes, yes, with no question. Now, Nora, Mason, McIntosh, and Sarah, they'll vote for it. But that leaves Jeff Green, Rose Selvey, Dale Basham to vote however the hell they want to vote. We need to get in contact with Roe and tell her no more craziness. No more clustering it up and making it a mess. Vote yes and be done. That then leaves Jeff Green and Dale Basham. And this is Basham's nonsense. Basham needs to vote yes. He was heavily involved. He needs to vote yes the way that the people want it done and be done with it. And if somebody doesn't vote for this, if Jerry or Brandon or Green or Dale kill this, then I expect a detailed explanation on why at that time. There's that finger. I expect them to give me and to give the citizenry a detailed statement that night on why they voted to kill this. All right, that's the first thing I want to say. Now, moving on back to her statement. Nora says, if you support this, it is imperative that you contact all councilors and encourage them to vote yes to the introduction at the March meeting on Monday, March 2nd. Okay? And I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, right here how you do that. Okay? I'm going to show you right here how you do that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pop this up on the screen so you guys can see this. This is very important. Man, we'll make sure that you guys are fully aware of how to contact these people because they need to be contacted. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can start contacting them tonight. Do it while you're watching this. Pull up your email and send an email to Jeff Green, District 1, to Nora Powell, District 2, Brandon at District 3, Gullion at District 4, Jerry Dishman at whatever that nonsense is, at Netscape because he can't figure out his email. Total idiot. Trash individual, man. Honestly, he to me, he's killing whatever service that he's done over the years. He's killing it by his actions in just these last couple of meetings, honestly. He's really blundering it up. Moving on, District 6, and then at-large 1, at-large 2, and at-large 3. That's Dale, Rowe, and McIntosh. All right? So District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 6, at-large 1, at-large 2, and at-large 3. And it's at muncie.in.gov. It is so easy. And all you have to do is write them a basic email stating that you have been paying attention to what's going on in Muncie. You do not agree with with how they've been acting, and that you specifically citizens of Muncie, you need to let them know this is what you expect them to do. There is no other explanation, no excuse. The vote is yes to introduce. I'm going to go further than Nora. This vote needs to be yes to introduce, yes to suspend the rules, and yes to push through. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. Let's get it done, and let's get it over with. No amendments, as is. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay? And listen, if the meeting goes long because of public comments, that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. And you can't take your anger out on this or any other ordinance. Yes, no ors, no ands, no buts. Okay. Yes, Admiral Eric. The fall of our republic isn't a fast movement. It will be a lullaby performed by Marxist socialist-minded elected officials masquerading as Republicans. We will slowly fall into a deep sleep. Yes, absolutely. Yes, if the shoe fits, you're free to wear it, as Sproles would say. This has to happen. This has to happen. No more screwing around. Let's get it done. Okay? Now, I also want to talk about this. She says that you have to email them. And I'm telling you, email them tonight. Email them tomorrow. Email them twice tomorrow. Email them twice on Thursday. Email them twice on Friday. Email them 3 times on Saturday. Email them twice on Sunday. And email them on Monday, letting them know, do this. Okay? But then Nora says, I would also respectfully request that you attend the meeting and please this. Please remember, public comment is no longer taken prior to the introduction. That is something else I have to say to you. In your emails, I want you to tell all of the councilors, tell specifically District 1 Councilor Jeff Green, but tell them all they need to push and fight for citizens to be able to speak before introduction of votes, of ordinances and resolutions. Citizens need to be permitted. Listen, I think it's dumb that they moved the public comment to the beginning rather than the end. I think that they should offer them both at the beginning and the end. But if we're not going to win the fight, I will give it up, and I will let Jeff win his fight on the placement of the public comments at the beginning of the meeting rather than the end. But I am not going to fold on letting citizens speak before the ordinance. There is too much information that will be lost if we're not allowed to do that. And yes, you can send a mass email. Absolutely. Send it to all of them, 100%. And you're exactly right, Eric. That is 100%. So they need to allow comment before the ordinance. And if they don't, we need to make the meeting take 6 hours. It took 1.5 hours in January. It took 3 hours this month. If they're not going to do the right thing, it takes 6 hours in March. Let's show them what a long meeting looks like. Okay? So I'm really pushing this. I'm going to sit down and write him a really long, drawn out, respectful, polite email in hopes that I will get a return. I should. We talked. He said he would do better. Time will tell. All right, we'll have to see. But we need to get this out. We don't have actually very long. I know it seems like, we just had the meeting, and we did. But look here, let me tell you. It's the 10th. Tomorrow's the 11th. Okay, next Monday is the 16th, President's Day. Then we've got the 23rd, and then we've got the meeting here. So it's going to be quickly upon us. But what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is we have (19, 20). We've got 20 days. 20 days where we can be emailing, calling, texting, seeing them in person. If we see them out, let them know. You know what I mean? We have to do it. We have to get this passed this time and be done with it. The ordinance looks, the same, basically. Just so you see it as it is. It looks the same. It's basically everything is the same except that new part. And oh God, Amber, that's horrible. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to take our time, our work, and our energy to make this happen. If it happens, it will be because of us. Oh, Jack, that would be amazing. In the words of John Sproles, woo, I can go all night. And the difference is, unlike Mr. Sproles, woo, I can. Okay, so we'll just let you know. We'll let you assume whatever that is. Okay, so that's that. There are no other ordinances that I'm aware of. This is really early. I'm glad that Nora did this, got this out there, because we need a lot of time with this. We need to push this. Okay, and so we'll do what we've got to do. I'll keep you posted. I'm sure there will be more comments made about this over the next several days, and we'll see what happens. Okay, moving on from there, ladies and gentlemen. We're also staying with the city of Muncie for a little bit. We've got to go all the way back in your mind to 2020, 2021, 2022, 23. And remember when there was this redheaded guy that was on the council. If any of you remember him, his name was Jeff Robinson. Okay. And what are we talking about him for? What's going on? Because he's not on the council. He's not currently running for anything. So why are we talking about Mr. Jeff Robinson? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's because Jeff today wrote an op-ed piece which appeared on the online version of the Muncie Star Press, and it should be appearing in the run copy tomorrow. Okay. The op-ed is called "When Meeting Public Comment Shrinks, Democracy Shrinks with It." And I think that's an interesting comment and an interesting way to look at this. I have to say this. Okay. I disagree wholeheartedly with Jeff on his national politics, on almost everything. But the way that he ran the meeting as an elected official, a local Democrat elected official, I have to give him credit for the way he ran the meeting. Now, there were things he could have improved on. There were things that he could have improved upon. But he ran the meeting professionally. It wasn't out of control. I don't remember people, getting crazy. There might have been people that were upset here and there. I mean, I know Audie was a couple of times. I know I was a couple of times. And you just kind of mouth and go back and forth and you do your thing and then you go on. Okay? It wasn't that big a deal. Absolutely, Rachel. He killed it. He killed it for being new. He did a damn good job. And I got to give him that. Well, he had some thoughts about what's been going on. And look, rightfully so. He's been on the council here recently. He was the council president 3 years in a row. And so here is Robinson's op-ed. When meeting public comment shrinks, democracy shrinks with it. The Muncie City Council's new Republican majority has changed the rules for public participation in meetings. Public comment time has been cut from 3 minutes to 2 minutes and moved to the beginning of meetings. Residents can no longer speak when new ordinances are introduced, only when they are up for final adoption. The city has also stopped live streaming meetings on Facebook and has disabled comments on its official page. Local government is where democracy should feel closest, where residents can show up, speak plainly, and trust that their voice matters. City council meetings are meant to be public, accessible spaces where elected officials listen directly to the people they serve. When those in power rewrite the rules to limit who gets heard, when, and how, it's not a neutral administrative decision. It's a warning sign and one Muncie citizens should not ignore. Okay? In the most recent city elections, Muncie voters elected a Democratic majority to the city council. For the first 2 years of that term under Democratic leadership, long-standing practices governing public comment remained intact. Residents could speak at meaningful points in the process. The public engagement was treated as a feature of local democracy, not a nuisance to be managed. That changed this year, not because voters demanded it, but because 2 council members, Brandon Garrett and Jerry Dishman, switched party affiliation. That switch landed Republicans in control of city council, and it elevated Jeff Green, District 1, to council president. Almost immediately, beginning with the January meeting, the new Republican majority moved to rewrite the rules of public participation, rules that now sharply restrict when residents are allowed to speak. As a former president of city council from 2021 through 2023, I know these rules well. During my tenure, public comment was generally limited to around 3 minutes. Okay. They're cutting them down from around 3 minutes per speaker, but leadership, not a stopwatch, guided how those rules were applied. No, excuse me. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. As former president of city council, I know these rules well. During my tenure, public comment was generally limited to around 3 minutes per speaker, but leadership, meaning the president or the vice president or the reading secretary, not a stopwatch, guided how those rules were applied. If a citizen took time to show up and speak on an issue affecting their community, Jeff believed they deserved to be heard. Participation and public engagement were always the goal, not procedural efficiency or convenience for those in power, or not procedural efficiency or convenience for those in power. Under the new Republican-led council, public comment has been deliberately restructured. Speaking time has been reduced from around 3 minutes to 2. Public comment has been moved to the end of the meeting from the end of the meeting to the very beginning. Most consequentially, the residents are now prohibited from speaking when ordinances are introduced. Public comment is limited only to ordinances being considered for adoption, most often on second readings. Each of these changes may sound small in isolation. Together, they function exactly as intended, to reduce public influence. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's about. It's about control. It's about stopping the public from expressing anything we want to express, what we should be able to express. It's stopping us from being able to redress the government. Moving public comment to the start of the meeting fundamentally alters its purpose. Residents are expected to speak before hearing debate, before amendments are discussed, and before council members publicly reveal where they stand. This is not meaningful engagement. It is guesswork. Combined with the ban on speaking at first reading, public comment becomes less informed, less relevant, and far less likely to affect the outcomes that are already taking shape behind the scenes. The effort to quiet public voices does not stop inside the council chamber. The council meetings are no longer live streamed on Facebook, where many residents naturally engage. Instead, they appear only on YouTube. The city has also disabled public comment on its official Facebook page entirely. Taken together, these choices reflect a clear pattern: fewer platforms, fewer voices, and fewer opportunities for residents to participate in the civic life of their own city. This is especially troubling given the campaign rhetoric that brought many of these officials into office. Transparency, leadership, communication were frequent talking points. Transparency is not a slogan, it is a practice. Communication is not one way. Leadership that fears and restricts public input is not leadership at all. I love it. He's absolutely right. Let's be clear. No one is arguing in favor of chaos. And that's what I was trying to tell the idiot when Tim called to tell me, why this was happening. No one is favoring chaos. No one's arguing for chaos. I understand that there has to be order to the meeting, but everything that they're fighting to stop wasn't causing the chaos or the disorder or whatever else the buzzword that he wanted to use. But there's a profound difference between maintaining order and suppressing dissent. When rules are rewritten to push public input earlier, shorten it, restrict it, and isolate it from real decision-making, the message to residents is unmistakable. Your presence is tolerated, but your voice is not welcome. I love it. The long-term cost of that message is civic disengagement. People stop attending meetings because they learn their participation does not matter. They stop watching because access has been intentionally narrowed. That erosion is especially dangerous in a city where fewer than 20% of eligible voters participated in the 2023 municipal election. When turnout is that low, public meetings are not a luxury. They are one of the last meaningful avenues for democratic participation. None of these changes are irreversible. Muncie can restore public comment at the introduction of ordinances. It can treat time limits as tools for inclusion rather than weapons of control. It can expand access by meeting residents where they are and not retreating from them. Again, I like it. I love it. A city that truly believes in transparency does not fear its residents' voices. A city that truly believes in transparency does not fear its residents' voices. It makes room for them, especially when few participate at the ballot box. So few participate at the ballot box. That was from Jeff Robinson, former city council president from 2021 to 2023 and 2023 Democratic nominee for mayor of Muncie. That is a big op-ed, and I hope that that is shared around. I hope that people get that message, and I hope that people are prepared to stand up and fight for what is right. He stole your line. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I'm happy to see that it went out. I'm happy that Jeff pinned that. I hope that enough people see it. I hope that some people on the other side, when I say the other side, I mean the defunct Republicans. I hope that they see this, and I hope that they hear what's happening here, and I hope that they do the right thing. I'm like Stumblefoot. I'm talking because I have to be hopeful, but I know what's coming. I know what's coming. We're not going to get to any chance of suspending the rules because they're not going to vote unanimously to allow this to go through. Now, my question is, I want to know from you guys, who do you believe will be the people that will vote? Do you think it'll just be one person that'll vote no? Or do you believe that there will be several councilors that will vote no? If you feel free to comment and let me know who you think will vote against putting this forward, because they all have to approve it in order for it to go on. Kate says several. Stand by. Give me 1 second. I've got to get a drink. I'm getting real dry. Give me 1 second. Split. Rachel says at least 3 no's. If officials won't listen to people, then they're not for the people. Absolutely. Several the way it's written. Interesting. Well, it's written the same way that it was written last time, and everybody voted in favor to push it forward for introduction. And then they killed it like I knew they would during the second. I was really shocked at how they did it. I didn't know how they would go forward with killing it. I wondered if just one person would vote no. Well, they couldn't do that. I wondered if they would just vote no, or if they would do something. How they ended up killing it last meeting is they made it so convoluted it didn't make any sense, and then they tied it up with other amendments that people had to vote no on. So I knew that was going to happen, and I don't feel like they will allow this to go through. I have not talked to any of the councilors yet. I will let me see here. I will put out all of the contact information that is public, and I will reach out to all of the officials tomorrow. I'm going to attempt to call them all, and I am going to put it all on the record. I'm going to call and record them, and we are going to talk about this. So if I get any of them to answer, we will play that. I will email them, and we'll see what happens. If you're interested in sending out an email, but you don't want to write something up, if you want like a blank form letter that we could put together and that you would feel comfortable sending out, I will write something up, and you guys can just put in your information. So if you guys are interested in that, I would tell you this: if you're interested in sending an email, but you are not interested in like writing it all, if you want some help writing it up, send me a message in Messenger, and I will provide you the email. So we'll go from there. Rachel says Nora and the other chick will vote one way. Roe Basham and others will vote opposite, and there will be one swing vote. Well, the other Democrats will vote along with Nora and Sarah. I'm really interested to see what Jerry Dishman's going to do. I was told after last meeting that Jerry is not running for re-election. And the vibe just isn't quite right on this reordinance of the reordinance. Man, I don't know. I think it has to happen. I'm going to be pushing for it. Although, do you mean the Democrats turned Republicans? I mean the Democrats that are still Democrats for now. I know we've got Democrats that turned Republican, but there still are a couple Democrats left on the council. It's such a shit show. Okay, moving on from there, we're going to talk a little bit about filings. I want to go back. Real quick, Jeremy, I don't think he's still here. Godsey. He sent me the videos that Dominic guy, whatever his name is, did about the Nicetown Police Department, Landon Dean, and all the crap. I covered that when all that stuff first broke. We talked about it on here. I've seen all those videos. They're old. They've been going around for a while. Here's the deal. It just comes back to the whole deal with Landon. I know there are people who don't like Landon, and I'm gonna put my same thing out there. I'm going to offer it up the same I always have. If somebody out there wants to come forward with actual proof or some kind of allegation with some kind of documentation or something, if someone wants to come forward on Landon Dean, my information is out there. I've been saying this exact same thing since 2020. And nobody has ever taken me up on that. So until someone does, I have to go off what I have, which is nothing. I have a bunch of hearsay. I have a bunch of people that appear to not like Landon because they think he's gay, or they believe he's gay, or he may be gay, or I don't give a shit if he's gay or not. I just simply don't care. I don't know. Bring me proof. Bring me proof. And I mean, not just saying, hey, look, his name was Captain Long Dong in this book of a bunch of crazy stuff, and all of this. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's going to take more than saying, oh, there's a picture of him in a pool with feet on his head. Okay, well, first of all, if he was in a pool of women with their feet on his head, nobody would bat an eye. First and foremost. And second of all of those people in that pool were above age. Not only were they above the age, they're above all ages. They were over the age of 21, it appeared to be. So I can say it every time Landon's name pops up. And I'm not being shitty to the people out there being like, look at this, because it's just, that's a Henry County thing. They've heard these rumors all of their life, so they're just passing down the stories that they heard, that someone else gave to them, that someone else gave to that person, that someone else gave to that person, and it's just a way of life in Henry County. I haven't known him to ever be friends with the ones accused. Yeah, I don't know anything about his friendships. I know that I have actively looked. I was actively trying to throw shade on him because everybody and their brother told me he was bad. Sadly, no one believed the young me. I don't I don't know what that means. You'll have to reach out to me and talk to me. We'll have to talk off air and let me know what that means. If you have a story about Landon. And look, I'm not pushing Landon over anybody else. It's going to be a Republican that wins. You know, I'm not out here being like, I'm just out here saying, listen, this is the young men. Sadly, nobody believed the young men. I see it. Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I know that there's been a lot of accusations about a lot of people. And I know that there are a lot of people who those accusations there's proof on. But I'll just tell you this, and I'm not being shitty to you, Amanda. I get it. I've never had anyone even just come to me and be like, yes, Landon did this to me. I've asked and asked and asked and asked and asked. Just one person come up to me and be like, Landon did this to me. That's never happened. It's not. It's just, I've been asking for that since 2020, and nobody. For all of the people that have been like, oh, I know somebody, I've got somebody, someone, they'll be calling you in 10 minutes. Those phone calls never came. That's all I can tell you. If after the investigation is done by the lawyer, Landon is cleared and not added to the suit, then that should say a lot because they are doing deep diving. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know where that came from. I pray it isn't true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I don't want to hear, I don't want anybody to victimize anybody. If somebody does, it should be out there. It should be brought out there. But that's the deal. Okay. Here's the deal. I want to do this with Catherine. I tell you what I'm going to do. Catherine, you want to come on tomorrow and we're going to talk about filings? Are you available tomorrow? And we could do a whole show. What we'll do is we will do a half and half. We'll go through the filings, and then we'll talk about Monday. You want to do that? Because this whole thing's been about Muncie. I will tell you, I'm still waiting. Tomorrow I'm going to go to Madison County because I have not received anything from them. Okay. Let me go down through here and look really quickly because I don't want to dine them out. Okay, let me see. Next page. Give me a second, folks. Oh, dude, what is all this shit? Okay. No. Okay, I still don't have anything from Madison County and Randolph County. So I have the list from the Secretary of State's office, but I'm looking for the actual filing documents. So what we'll do is I'm going to go to I'm going to contact Randolph County tomorrow, and I will go to Madison County and see if I can't get these actual filings, and we'll go from there. I will tell you this. Don't wear your belt tomorrow. I will tell you this. I watched the meeting in Madison County a little bit this evening, and Jonathan Culp, the councilor from Madison County, he has filed to run for sheriff of Madison County. Oh, don't wear your belt. I get it. I get it. Yeah. Jonathan Culp was in that meeting, and I'm going to tell you, folks, that kid has no understanding of life. He's out of control. And I get a lot of people that say, man, what happens if he's the sheriff and somebody pulls a gun on him? I bet he'd turn and run. I mean, and listen, very, very few times is anybody pulling a gun on the sheriff. That's not what I'm worried about. You want me to tell you what I'm worried about? The sheriff being 27-year-old Jonathan Culp or dumb dick Randy Howard. You want me to tell you what my issue is with people like that? It's these people going off into work in their respective sheriff's departments, and some sheriff's deputy that's been there for 22 years, that's 53 years old, goes out on a call, and he gets called to a fight between juvenile kids, and he pulls up on the scene of these kids fighting, and there is a 10-year-old kid with a gun. He pulls out a gun, this 10-year-old kid, and he's acting like a hard-ass, badass, scared. He don't know what's going on, and he points that gun at that 22-year sheriff's deputy veteran. And the veteran says, "Drop it, kid, drop it, drop it, drop it." And the deputy pulls his gun, and the kid's just still pointing it, and the deputy's doing everything. The deputy's yelling, crying, trying to get this kid to drop this gun, and this 10-year-old won't do it. And then all of a sudden, the 10-year-old starts to charge the deputy, and the deputy has no other choice than to shoot that kid. That would be a god-awful situation. But the deputy would have had to have done what he did. My fear is a situation like that occurs, and then you get this 22-year veteran, this 53-year-old man who's done everything there is to do under the sun in law enforcement, and he goes back into the sheriff's department, and he is having a mental breakdown because on one hand, he had to kill the guy. He had to kill the kid because the kid had a gun in his hand, and we find out that it was an airsoft gun. It wasn't even a real gun, but it looked like a gun. And, when it's all said and done, it's going to be a clean shoot. But that doesn't mean the cop's not going to have inner turmoil. The cop's going to be freaking out. The cop's going to be having a meltdown. What is Jonathan Culp going to do to give that deputy what he needs to deal with that situation? Jonathan Culp would piss himself. I hope he wears diapers, You know what's screwed up about Madison County? Madison County's just screwed up enough that they will elect that idiot because his name is Culp. And I'm telling him, Jonathan, if you're listening to this, for the love of God, if you win, invest in some adult diapers, because there will be things that will make you piss yourself and cry for your mama. You have no business. Like Kay said, just him showing up to an accident where someone's died, how will he react to that? How will he help be the leadership that his people need? You know, my friend Niles Thornburg, Kate's husband, has always said this thing. I'm sure it's something they say in the military. He's, big time military man. I never heard it other than through Niles, but lead from the front. You lead from the front. Jonathan Culp is not an individual who leads from the front. He has no ability to do what's needed. None. And that's my concern. There are some people that are running for sheriff in Henry County. Some of them are good. Some of them are not. Some of them are Randy Howard, and some of them are John Sproles. So we know the people that shouldn't be. We have an unknown. Let me see here. Let me pull up this Delaware County filing. We have an unknown filing in Delaware County. Absolutely, Kate. We have an unknown filing at Delaware County where someone has filed to run for sheriff. Let me pull this up here. Okay. Republican forms. Let me see what's what here. Give me a second. What's he running for? Delegate. Okay, let me see what we've got, who we've got here. Give me a second. It takes me a minute to get through some of this. Absolutely. And we're screwed because he's sheriff. Speaking of which, I saw your ex today. Let me see, where are we at? David Williams. There's my nephew. There's Bob. Okay. Where is this? I'm looking through all these. Here we go.
David Williams.
No, what?
David Williams.
What are you talking about?
You said you ran across. Are they all like mixed together?
No, there's a bunch together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is it right here. Look, does anybody know this guy? Tell me. I want to know if anybody knows this guy. Look at this. We've got this up. We're gonna go through all this tomorrow. I promise we'll go through all of this tomorrow. Catherine's gonna be on her best behavior, and because we're gonna have a lot of stuff we got to go through. Who are you talking about, Rachel? Look at this. Anybody know this guy? James Shannon McCall. He's running for sheriff of Delaware County. the two most recent primary elections held in Indiana, I voted for. I'm claiming the affiliation of. Wait a minute. Okay, it says James McCall, Liberty. He's running as a Republican, office of the sheriff. Oh, yes, Ring. Yes, I know him. I don't know him. He reached out to me.
So I pulled him up on Facebook.
Yeah.
32-year retired veteran police officer for the Buckeye State competition shooter.
Yeah. That's him. James McCall. No. Okay. Oh. He messed up on this. He messed up on his filing. That should be right there, should be 25 and not 26. Essential health and living nursing home care. Okay. Let's see. The 26th day of January. What the hell? James McCall. What is that? Who are you talking about, E-Jack? Where is his other document? Okay. Maybe he hasn't turned it in yet. So I think that's all that we have on him. I want to show you what Kate looked up, what Kate pulled up on Ring. Yes. Okay, that's who you're talking about. That's who she's talking about. He reached out to me. I said I didn't know who he was. I'd be willing to talk to him. I'll talk to anybody. I offered Randy to come on. Randy won't take it. It's ridiculous. What was that guy's name? McCall? Yeah, look at this. I want everybody to look at this. This is what his Facebook profile looks like. Okay, let's do this. So there are 3 followers, 2 following. Okay. Does this look like the same guy? I want to know. This guy here. And then this guy.
Read, Christopher. It says, attached to this post is a picture of my dear friend Stephen Crossan, who we lost in 2008 due to an on-the-job illness.
Okay, so that's not even him.
No.
Okay, that's good. I mean, so, but you know what? Because there would be a lot of people that just did what I did, that didn't read. It just says, oh, yeah, look, he's a sheriff there. What's his deal? Here's some of the ideas I have as your next sheriff. 1, start an explore program to encourage young men and women to get into the field of law enforcement. I was a member of this age. I mean, dude, this is another Randy Howard. This is another Randy Howard, guys. I can't deal with this. What? Oh man. I don't know what this is. What? What's this supposed to be? Is that where he lives? Why would they have that on there? I started my law enforcement career at the age of 18 in 1991. I graduated from the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy, retiring in 2018, but remaining active as a reserve officer at the Village of Rutland, Ohio Police Department, keeping my Ohio certification up to date due to also being an instructor at the academy, to include being a firearms instructor. Okay, let's go look at Rutland, Ohio Police Department. See if we can find if this guy is an officer there or if he has been. Staff. Oh, no. No. Too bad we can't get Randy Howard or Andy Taylor or Randy Howard. Okay, so here's Rutland, Ohio. This kind of stuff's weird, man. It's just, it makes me think really strange things. I worked with James and can personally attest to his commitment to care and compassion for his community. James demonstrated a great dedication to their finer details within his work and took the time to personalize his care for others. While James is kind and compassionate, he's a shark in defending his people. I trust being in the hands of James, not just for myself, but for my family. Aspen Marie. James was my sergeant at the sheriff's office and was one of the best and most fair leaders I ever worked for, Nick. James McCall is the right choice for Delaware County Sheriff. His commitment to integrity and community engagement is unmatched. Okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to see if I can find this guy in Ohio police anywhere. Ohio peace officer. Okay. And listen, maybe he is, and if so, I apologize, but where did this guy come from? Who the hell is he? If he's been in Ohio all this time, why is he coming here? What's his deal? What's the deal? You know? What's the deal? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. This message goes out to James. And here's the deal. I sent James a message. I said, look back here now. He had a message box on here where he said, Somerset, Ohio. Go to his LinkedIn page. It says Somerset, Ohio. He used to have a page here where you could message him, and it's now gone because I messaged him and I was like, yo, hey, I'm interested in chatting with you. And nothing was said. Let me see here. I'm looking at what the other people say. Let's see. Another one that doesn't want to talk to people or answer questions. So yeah, this is weird. We'll see what goes on here. I hate when people do that. I'm going to go to his LinkedIn. James McCall, retired. Okay. Now, okay. Now look here. Now look at this picture. Now, does this look like the James McCall that we're seeing in the other picture? So here is his LinkedIn. Here's LinkedIn, and it says James McCall, Muncie, Indiana, United States, Somerset Police Department, Somerset, Ohio. Experienced captain with a demonstrated history of working in the law enforcement, and it won't let me see anymore. Okay, so we got this picture. Now, let's go back to this other picture of James, and you tell me what your thoughts are. There he is. Here he is. No way that's the same guy. Meet James McCall, a dedicated member of the Delaware County community with a proven track record of service. Discover his background, experience, and vision for a better Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Can you send me any of that, Eric? Can you send me any of that in Messenger? Contact. Here we go. Okay. Hello, sir. Okay. Really speak with you about your run for Delaware County, Indiana Sheriff. The upcoming 2026 can message me here. Message. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Submit form. Boom. Thanks for filling out the form. We'll be in touch soon. I just, I don't know. I don't know why. Oh, we've got a phone number. Okay. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I will reach out to him and I will let you guys know what we come up with, because that is a little funky to me. So tomorrow we'll have Catherine on. We will go through the filings. We'll do all the filings at the first half of the show, and then the last half of the show we'll talk about what we're doing to prepare for Monday the 16th. Monday the 16th is fast approaching. If you're interested, we're going to try to show up out there about 1 o'clock. I think we're going to try to do something and kind of get a big thing going. It's going to be an interesting day, to say the least. So please keep that in mind. We, of course, will be here the rest of this week. So stop on in tomorrow and the next day, obviously, Wednesday and Thursday. If you have not smashed that like button, please consider smashing the like button. We would greatly appreciate it. And remember, if you're interested in being a team nobody and you want to show your support, message me a shirt size, get a hold of me, let me know, and we will get you your official Team Nobody merch. So let me know. I will tell everybody that Kate did start fiddling around with hoodie prices, so we're working on that too, and maybe work on like cups or shit like that if people are so inclined. So we'll let you know. Alrighty, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in yet again and taking all of this in. Please help spread the word, share the show with everyone you know. I am still working to get the videos from Henry County, working on all of that and working on everything else right now. It's really crazy. It's like drinking water from a fire hose. So just bear with us. I am also very, very tired, and we have been burning the candle at both ends because we've been moving and doing things like that, and we're trying to get that shit done because I'll be honest, I'm tired of being here, and I'm so excited to be in the new studio. It's going to be freaking amazing. I'm really starting to like how it's coming together, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. So that will be happening soon. You guys take care. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great tomorrow. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow evening. Take care. Good night and goodbye.